Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Brother Sister Show, a family owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're joined by a very special guest, our third sibling, Homer. Last week we had Emily. This week we have the last Treviño, Homer. So later we'll talk about Homer's pick, robots. But before we get into that, what's up, guys?
What's up?
What's new?
Pretty good. We've gotten through Christmas. We're in the weird week between Christmas and New Year's. And I still have to work. I know y'all don't have school or anything, right? But
No.
I'm doing okay. How are you, Homer?
I am doing all right. Not much, just enjoying my break.
How was Christmas?
It was good.
I was the only one not there.
Mm-hmm. And it was fantastic without you, specifically because of that. I will say, shout out to our Uncle Hector. He never disappoints with barbecue ever. And Anthony, you missed the best pork belly I've had in my entire life. And we'll save some details, but Dad got him the wrong kind of meat. So he kind of either way, it didn't matter. Him messing up was still fucking amazing. So that was fine. It was a pretty good Christmas, especially because you weren't there.
Yeah, if I was there, the pork belly would have just not tasted as just as good. Yeah.
I think it would have just soured the whole mood. I'm kidding.
Fair enough.
Yeah, watched a lot of movies, which gets us into our next part is what we watched. I think Homer was there. We watched the new Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Did you see it, Anthony?
Yeah, I saw it. We watched both of them. The first one, just to refresh our brains, and then we watched the second one. Ooh.
Well, I don't think it would have mattered to refresh your brains because
Yeah.
I don't know. Homer, what did you think? You were paying the most attention out of everybody in the room.
I feel like some of the parts, if you didn't watch the first one, it was kind of confusing how some of the parts were it was looking at the watch and you're like, okay, what's with the watch? If you haven't watched the first one, but it was all right movie. I liked it.
Anthony?
I have no thoughts towards that movie. There was so many moments where, because I watched it with Kayla, she just would look over and just roll her eyes and be like, oh my gosh. And we were kind of honestly bored with it.
It was so boring.
It was 2.5 hours, but it did not need to be that whatsoever. And there was so much about that movie where I was just like, are you kidding me? I don't want to go into too many details because it's so fresh. It's only 3 days old at this point, but it didn't need to be. That movie didn't need to exist whatsoever. So
yeah, it didn't add to anything. It didn't it just felt like it took away more than it added. Especially because, at least for me, I loved the first Wonder Woman. I thought it was surprisingly good. And then this one, I was how is this the same filmmaker?
Yeah.
And you know what, too? I guess this is kind of the conversation we can have next is about I was talking to Sebastian because I guess another thing that I've watched in Homer's scene too is Tenet. And we won't spoil it because Anthony hasn't seen it.
Yeah, what the hell? I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah. And honestly, it was also very, very, it was boring. I also was so Sebastian had to explain so much of it to me. And I guess that's the point of the movie is that it was so confusing, but he had to pause. There was a full hour into the movie and he had to pause and he looked at me and he said, okay, what do you need me to explain? And I was honestly, everything, because I don't understand what's happening. And maybe because I was doing something. And then he was I was I think I can do this while we're watching it. And he was well, I don't think you will, but we'll see. And he was right. I should have not. I should have been paying full attention. But even then I'm still so fucking confused by it. And it just, I was really disappointed in it. But the whole reason I bring that up is because I'm wondering now because we haven't been to theaters in a long time, I'm starting to see, I think, the effect that seeing a movie in a theater has on movies. Because I Wonder Woman, that I think I would have thought that was hot garbage no matter what. But like, I wonder if I saw Tenet in theaters, if I would have liked it a little bit more.
Maybe. What did you think about it, Homer? Because you saw it too.
I was watching it, and when I was watching it, I do agree with what Livia said, because if there's like any noise in the background, I couldn't really hear what they were saying, because it was kind of a mumble with a bit of like music in the background that was just a bit too high. And,
okay, I'm so glad you said that, because the entire time I was watching it like this. Like I had no idea what they were saying. And it's not even that they had like thick accents. I mean, it's an American and then like other British people. And I was like, what the fuck are they saying? And there was this one scene. This isn't really a spoiler, but I think Homer knows what I'm talking about. But they're planning this big like thing that they're going to do at the beginning where they're like trying to get into a place. That's what I'll say. And the whole planning part had the loudest music over them talking. It was like, da, 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 da. And then the people were like, and then we're going to do, like, it was so wild. I thought it was just me. So I'm so glad you said that, because I couldn't hear a goddamn word they were saying.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I never actually finished the movie. I think I got more 3/4 of the way there, and then I was like, eh. But I went to look, because Plex, the thing we use, has reviews. And when I looked at one of the reviews, New York Times, I think it had, and the guy just said, "What the hell's going on?" That's his review.
But it wasn't like a fun one, like Inception. Like I wasn't like, "Ooh, that was interesting. I want to look more into it." I was legitimately annoyed. Especially there's this one scene where we have to talk about it when you see it, Anthony, because there's this one scene where I got like actually angry.
Y'all being negative for no reason.
No,
y'all got no
really
right.
No. I think you would feel the same exact way, Anthony. I think you would, because at least with the sound mixing, I don't know who the fuck did that sound mixing, but I'm sorry to call you out. That was bad. I couldn't hear a goddamn thing, and maybe it's the whole IMAX shit, but like I should be able to hear what they're fucking saying.
Yeah, I don't know. What else did you guys watch? Because I got a long list, but I don't want to get into it right now. What you guys?
I only have one, so I'll talk about. Dad told me I need to talk about this documentary that we watched. It's on Netflix. It's called The Long Shot. It's only like 40 minutes, and it's about this guy that was not framed, but he was accused of murdering a 16-year-old girl. But he didn't. He says he didn't do it, and I do believe him. But like all this, like he. I don't know how to, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but it's basically just about how his lawyer proved that there was no way he would have done it. And one of the ways was that he went to a Dodgers game, and at that Dodgers game, I think you probably have heard of it. And at the Dodgers game, they were recording an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it just
and they
like,
found him in the crowd.
It was, yeah, he was the guy was in the crowd. So that's how they, that's basically like one of the ways that they proved that there was no way he could have done it. And he just, you could tell, like just the way, like when you see somebody when they're talking about it, like even just him sitting when he was arrested and he was in court, him sitting there and watching, like, you know, his daughter have to testify. Like he visibly, he did look like he was like, I didn't do any of this.
Right.
But yeah, just like you need to watch it though. I don't want to like give too much away, but just how random it was that he was able to, like, that an HBO show was recording. Not only were they recording, but they were recording in a way that nobody else knew that they were recording. Like they had hidden cameras. And there's one shot that they found that like proved it, and it was insane the fact that they got this shot. Like it was like a 1 in a million chance that they would have done it. And if it wasn't for that, who knows if he probably would be in jail for something he didn't do. And it's just also like terrifying.
Not the fact that they recorded it, like that added on the fact that someone found it.
Yes.
Too.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, because I think so, especially because the guy that was there. Some like Mexican guy. He's not watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. You know, he's just like, he doesn't know who Larry David is, but you need to see it. Cause like the way they found him in some other shot from the like actual like network, not HBO, the people that were filming.
Yeah.
But it was so grainy that they were like, no, we don't know. And the shot that they found in the HBO show, it's like clear as day that it's him. And there's no, like, it's insane that they got such a good shot of him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really good. It's only 40 minutes, the long shot. Oh, and I have a note because Homer told me I have to remind him that he watched Soul.
Yes, I did.
Thoughts?
It was a good movie. I liked it. I don't know. It was interesting, the concept of how they dealt with souls.
Yeah, I watched it as well, and I thought it was really well done, and I want to rewatch it, like for sure, because I watched it without Kayla because she doesn't like animated movies that much.
She doesn't?
I don't like them
No.
either.
And I was like, this is a movie I think she would like. I feel like it's like, because I thought it was going to go in so many different ways, but I'm happy with how they dealt with everything. It was very funny too. I liked it a lot. Anything else, Homer? What'd you watch?
I've been watching The Flash. I've been rewatching it from season 1.
Oh, I see. Any specific reason, or just it's on?
I just like it, man. It's supposed to get a season 7, and I don't know when. Sometime in 2021.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
I think January.
Are you a fan of The Flash in general or just the show?
I like the show, but I like the character a lot.
Isn't he going to get a movie, or was he and now he's not, or something?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he is, though. It's February 23rd, 2021. It'll premiere season 7 of Flash.
That one and Green Arrow. I used to watch The Flash, but I remember they had like a bunch of crossovers with the Arrow.
The Arrow, yeah.
I never understood why the Arrow is a show. I watched a couple episodes. I was like, this is boring.
Yeah. But they probably had a bunch of crossover to get people to watch the Arrow more.
Yeah. And the thing about that show is like the enemies or the villains they're just all the same. And I got so bored with that. Neither here nor there.
I think the Flash is better because it just has more interesting characters and a lot of opportunity to expand its villains out.
He's also faster.
Yeah.
Well, I watched quite a bit. Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta rewatch that for.
Oh, we watched that too, I think.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Classic. So that was one of my favorite Christmas movies, and we watched one of Kayla's. Hers was Rise of the Guardians, because she's not a huge fan of Christmas, but it's an animated movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Probably.
It has
sounds familiar.
It has like Santa. Alec Baldwin voices Santa.
Is he like
Chris
he has
Pine
a bunch of
is
tattoos?
Jack Frost. Yeah. That's the one. It was okay. Pretty good.
I liked it. That's a good movie.
And we have watched some Studio Ghibli movies. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those on HBO.
No,
I think some of them are on Hulu, actually. Those are fun. Kayla and I have never really seen those before, but her cousin recommended us some, and those have been cool. I really like the like art style. The characters look really funny. I think you'd like it, Homer, actually. So,
yeah.
Oh, I need to mention. There's a show. I don't know if I talked about it on the pod, but there's a show that I told everybody in our family to watch, but it was mostly because I wanted Homer to watch it. There's a show called Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun, and I knew he would like it because it's insane and it's so like stupid, and it. But we watched that and it was pretty funny. But we couldn't. It's like one of those shows where you have to watch like maybe 2 episodes and then like set it aside because it's just so much shit going on.
Yeah,
just too much.
It's chaotic.
Mm-hmm. Just like you, Anthony. What I want you to do, Anthony, after this is just put it on and watch the first scene, because it's like a sketch show kind of. So it has like contained scenes. Just watch the first scene. It's called Everything is a Drum. Just watch that, and then you'll know instantly if you'll like it or you'll hate it.
Okay. I'll do that before I watch Tenet, because you best know after this, after I hit end call, I'm watching Tenet.
Get ready.
I gotta do it.
Give it your full attention.
Yeah, you can't like, oh, I'm just gonna be on my phone. No, because then you'll not know what the fuck is going on.
I respect Christopher Nolan's vision, so I'm gonna watch it with literally nothing else stimulating my brain.
Okay.
Let's move on. That's pretty much all I watched.
All right. So this is the part where we get to know our guest, Homer, a little bit more. And I have a couple of questions. First is just a general, what's your favorite movie? And if you don't have one favorite movie, like just what is your favorite genre? What kind of movies do you enjoy? That kind of thing.
I'd say my favorite movie would probably be Zombieland.
Oh, okay.
What's the reason?
I just like the characters and how they all act to. I just like the whole scenario that they're in, because the zombie apocalypse and how each of the characters react to them being in it, with Columbus and his or not Columbus, whatever his name is, and he has this like set of rules. The main guy, the curly hair one.
Yeah, Columbus.
I think that's his name. Yeah. They name them. They're after the cities.
Yeah,
wherever they're going.
But yeah, I like his set of rules that he has, how he keeps going to them, and how they're like in the environment. They're edited in.
How long do you think you'd survive? I think you'd outlast all of us.
I don't know. If I was older, maybe. I don't know. At my age right now, I would.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. I'm not the fittest person, I'll say.
Oh, yeah, but you could use this time. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You have the street smarts.
What do you think about the second one?
I love the second one too. It's been like how long since the first one? Since they did that, it was like
I think it came out 2009.
2009, so it's about 10 years, and it's still to me it seems the same, but also like better in a way.
Yeah, I think it could have been a lot worse, just like introducing new characters, but the ones that they did were really cool and fun.
I wasn't a fan. The only part I do like in it, though, that I did enjoy was whenever they had basically the other version of them.
Yeah,
it was like Thomas Middleditch and the other guy.
His commandments.
I like that. His what?
He had his own set of rules, but he called them commandments or something.
Commandments.
Exactly. That was the only part I really liked. Well, what kind of movies do you like? Is it generally like comedies? You like a lot of animated stuff, though, right?
I haven't really. The only anime or any. Well, I like the animated stuff, but the only anime I've ever watched was One Punch Man. So I guess.
Well, there you go. All right. I know. So our family's big about going to theaters. And I know we've been hit hard by not being able to go to any theaters. I think all of us have, it's been since like March, right, Homer? Since we've gone. And you, at least, like I go a lot, but you, mom and dad, at least you and mom, y'all go like all the time. So what is one thing, if you could pick one, what is one thing that you miss the most about going to see a movie in a movie theater, Homer?
I just miss like going up, getting the popcorn, and going down and just sitting with nothing else to do. Just immerse yourself in the world of another movie. Or
not a phone in sight.
That's something that my therapist has been telling me to do, is something called mindfulness. It's a big buzzword, so people have probably heard of it. But she said one of those things, because it's basically just you like acknowledging everything that's going on around you, especially like if your mind is going a mile a minute, then you might not just acknowledge, like, I'm sitting in a chair, I'm at a desk, I have a mic in front of me. Like, you don't like take time to notice those things. And she said that one of those things can be going to the movies. And I didn't realize that I had been missing out on that. Because that's like the only time, and this might be the same for Homer, like that's the only time I really like sit down and I don't think about anything else other than the movie that I'm watching.
Yeah.
So I try to recreate it at home, but it's kind of hard. And then I get angry at the movie. I got mad at Tenet. Because I'm like, fucking makes sense. It's not that hard.
Maybe if it was in the theaters, it would be different. Do you remember the last one you saw in the theater, Homer?
No, I do not.
That's fine.
It's a long time ago, almost a year ago.
Yeah, coming up on it. Well,
if you could see, so all of the movies that you've seen this with, like in quarantine, if you could see one in theaters, which one would it be?
I guess Soul. There hasn't been that many movies that have come out recently. The only recent ones I can think of is Soul and Wonder Woman.
I would definitely do Soul too. I know you didn't ask me, but I would do Soul because it's I feel like an animated movie, you need a bigger screen to appreciate just how many people worked on it.
To all the detail that goes into it.
Yeah, any movie has tons of people working on it, but like animation is, I don't know, something about it.
Hey, can you cut that out? Because I did not ask you. Just edit it out.
I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out. Yeah.
All right. I kind of want to see Tenet in theaters to see if it does make sense, and I'm just dumb. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Inception wasn't good, guys. Maybe we just saw it in theaters. All right. And the last question I have, and it could be for all of us, especially because we haven't even acknowledged that this is coming out on New Year's Eve.
This is.
And because honestly, time this year just doesn't exist. The fact that it's almost 2021 is fucking insane. But on a positive note, I guess, instead of thinking about all the movies that we missed this year, let's think about the movies that we're looking forward to. So I can go first. I think it's already technically out, but there's a movie called Promising Young Woman that I was supposed to see at South by. And I don't know. I think it's out at like Alamo Draft Houses, but I'm not going to go to a theater right now. Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to it. That just looks like such a good movie. It's Carey Mulligan. I think Bo Burnham's in it. Just like randomly. And then probably like, I don't know. I know that there was a trailer to Coming to America, like the second one. I haven't seen it, but that would be nice to see Eddie Murphy in a movie again.
Yeah.
All right, Homer, do you have one or two?
Those are good picks.
Movie I'm looking forward to is Spider-Man 3.
Oh, yeah.
Does that come out next year?
I believe it. Yeah, it does. Sometime in March, I think. But I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm not sure exactly the date. I don't think they have a specific date. They might. I haven't really looked into it. But I'm really looking forward to seeing all three Spider-Man, possibly, because I know that they had Andrew Garfield down. I think they were trying to get Toby. They're getting Tobey Maguire to sign on the deal with Sony.
Toby, you little shit, fucking sign the deal. Do it.
But I think because of our I don't know if they're supposed to get like an actual Spider-Man, like they're going to help Spider-Man, or they're just going to be a cameo in the movie. I'm not sure.
I mean, well, what would you rather? Would you rather them be in the movie, or would you rather them just like
I would
play like a little side part?
I want them to at least be in a way where Tom Holland, Peter Parker, acknowledges that there are two different Peter Parkers. These other Spider-Men. It's because this movie is supposed to be like a 3-parter into the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
What?
It's supposed to lead into the whole multiverse with the MCU, because the Doctor Strange is getting a movie called The Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be very interesting when it comes out.
And I've loved this year Almost a full year of no Marvel bullshit. Oh, I fucking loved it. Oh, you got to stay for the closing credits. No, I don't. When is Venom 2 coming out?
Just go to YouTube.
Venom 2. The disrespect. The disrespect you just put in this chat.
Is there going to be Venom 2? What is Tom Hardy doing? Is he okay?
I don't know.
I miss him.
If he's doing another Venom, then he's not okay.
Yeah, but he must be fun to work with. If it comes out that he's an asshole, I would be so sad. But I'd drop him like a fly. It'd be fine. I don't care.
You know, I want 2021 to be the years
of Tom Hardy.
To be the year of the movies that we forgot. We forgot about Black Widow. We forgot about Quiet Place 2. And I want to see those movies. I guarantee you guys forgot about it. And I want to watch that movie.
I've been catching up.
I forgot about that one. I do want to see that.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. Seeing the movies that could have been. So,
how do you think, we have a big question and then go to the break. How do you think this year has changed the way, I mean, I know it'll change movie theaters and like the way people, you know, the way movies operate, but how do you think it'll change the way that you consume entertainment?
I think it'll make me more cautious on who I'm sitting near, or like, and the way I'm considered. I don't know.
No, that's a good answer.
Completely different.
Yeah, I don't know though. I feel like Americans are not like. I feel like we'll forget about it like a month after we're able to go outside. I'm gonna be sharing drinks with strangers. Like nobody's gonna notice. It'll be fine. But that is, I mean, I think people will like the distance, you know. Or it could go the other way. Like I miss going to a packed screening. I miss it so much. So
I think that if it keeps going the way I think it's going, where we're just going to keep getting people infected and dying, I believe it's going to get to a point where if it does go down eventually, people are still going to remember it, and just it's not going to be the same anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe for a good reason though. Like I was telling somebody, I forgot who, but like the fact that I hadn't been wearing masks when I was sick, like you're supposed to, is insane. Like why the fact that we've never done that is so weird to me now. And like now that's one thing that I'm glad I'm going to at least be doing is when I'm sick, either like stay the fuck home or wear a mask when you're out. But Anthony, you? I
think as far as how movies will be consumed, I hope drive-throughs will be, or not drive-throughs, drive-ins will become more like commonplace. I feel like those are
drive-through movie.
Drive-through.
Just having Tenet and then just boop.
You're reversing out of it.
I mean, that'd be funny.
Invert. Oh, Anthony, well, like, get it.
I hope those come back more. I mean, like there's some in San Antonio. There's 2, I guess. One is Six Flags and one in New Braunfels. Because Six Flags started doing that. I hope that starts going everywhere. Honestly, I think that would be a good place to invest in drive-through movies.
I hate drive-in movies.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. Do you like it, Homer?
No.
I like the experience of just having the radio there and listening to the.
Yeah, I think I can see people like latching onto that because like it's an experience. Like going to the movies is an experience for us as a family. Like it's been an experience for us growing up, and I feel like they can get that. Like people nowadays can get that same experience, maybe a little different one, slightly better, slightly worse, whatever it is to you, going to a drive-in. So yeah, I'd love to do that more often. There's not one here in town, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie theater moment, Homer? Did you see Midsummer with us?
No, I did not.
Oh, never mind.
I feel like you would have made that movie a lot more funny. There's this one scene because we saw it with mom and dad, and there's one scene where it's like pretty graphic, pretty not safe for work, and it was just so awkward.
I'm surprised we didn't take you. I wonder why. I don't know. Mom still thinks you're like 10 years old, so maybe that's why.
I think I decided not to go.
You can't go. But yeah, you probably just don't want to go.
How long ago was this?
I don't know. Last year, maybe? Earlier no. When did Midsummer come out? Last year?
It could have been yesterday. It could have been 10 years ago. Who knows?
Well,
2019?
I think.
Not too long ago.
Oh, I couldn't tell you how old you are, though, so I don't know. All right. Let's hit the break, and we'll be back. And we'll be back to talk about robots. In a robot world, a young idealistic inventor travels to the big city to join his inspiration's company, only to find himself opposing its sinister new management in Robots. Directed by Chris Wedge and Carlos Saldanha. Story by Ron Mita. Mita.
Okay.
Jim McLean, David Lindsay Aber, William Joyce, and Chris Wedge. Screenplay by
Oh my gosh.
David Lindsay, keep it all in. David Lindsay Aber, Lowell Gans, and Babalu Mandel.
What a name.
Starring, right? You know what this
Babalu.
feels like? Or this is the exact reason I'm not a teacher. Can you imagine me calling roll? I can't say the name David. Right, starring Ewan McGregor, Halle Berry, and Mel Brooks.
What a cast. As for how much it cost, $75 million about. Opening weekend, it made about $36 million. In US, it grossed about $128 million. Worldwide, $262 million. That's a lot of money. Critics gave it a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, as usual. We can ignore that. Actually, we can ignore all of these because we have a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 64% on Metacritic. So it's pretty consistent across the board, I will say.
Pretty accurate, I'd say. All right, Homer. So why... First of all, let's introduce this movie. Why did you choose it?
I chose this movie because it's the one that's... I just love this movie when we were watching it.
Just growing up, we watched it so many times.
Yeah.
We have, but I don't remember a lot of it. A lot of it was very new to me.
A lot of it, some of the jokes just like slid over my dumb kid brain.
Oh, like when Big Weld kept talking about how much he likes that girl's ass. Yeah.
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 That's a lot of ass talk for a kid's movie. But all right. All right. So the first thing that I do notice is the music. I know y'all probably have a lot to say about it, or maybe Anthony, but I have a fun fact. So the filmmakers wanted the music score to sound like it was recorded by the Robot Philharmonic. To that effect, they hired performance artists like Blue Man Group, or no, not like them. They hired them, known for performing on musical instruments made from industrial piping and other found objects to do special percussion effects. And it is very effective. I mean, this is one of the things that maybe not like the jokes, but one of the things that I didn't appreciate as a kid or as a younger person, however old I was whenever I watched this. But I do appreciate now. Like it is a very nice touch, I think.
Definitely, especially towards, the very last sequence. But
yeah. And first thing first, robot children. What? Like, that's such a weird fucking concept. And I didn't like remember this part, but it is kind of smart, like throughout the years, they give them new parts, or I guess like hand-me-down parts in the case of our main character, Rodney. And I just thought it was weird. But it brought me to a question. Do you know what you would look like if you were a robot? Like what your colors would be, like your kind of silhouette? Like what would you look like? Have you thought of this?
No, I have not thought of that. And I have no clue what I would look like.
I feel like it'd be like a Rodney Copperbottom, but I wouldn't want.
You would be like Fender.
Yeah, that's true. What's with his head? Like he has like a like that
the handle
like
bar?
handle thing that he has.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I should have looked that up. I don't know.
I think it's just,
it probably would be a Fender.
Interesting though that you can like. It is kind of. I mean, the themes in this movie are really cool. Like now that I can understand them, but just the idea that you make your body, or that your body is the way your body looks and operates, is some of it is in part due to like your environment. So the fact that they couldn't afford newer parts, so they looked older. They didn't look as sleek as the newer people. Like weren't as like, polished. I thought that was interesting. So robot children aside, we do see Rodney grow up, and he grows an admiration for Big Weld, who is a famous inventor. And he tries to keep up with his inventions. He wants to be like Big Weld. He has this like cute, but he still is like obsessed with his dad. He says that Big Weld is one of the, what did he call him? Like one of the coolest people in the world besides my dad.
Best robot
in the world.
Best robot besides you, Dad.
Yeah, which is cute. But while he's inventing and trying to be like Big Weld, he still has to work with his dad in a restaurant. His dad is a dishwasher. I don't know what Rodney did. He was like a waiter or something.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he just like delivered all the dirty dishes back to him.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
Busboy.
Busboy, yeah.
I get that.
And kind of like skipping a little bit, he has an invention that doesn't pan out because it gets his dad in trouble with the restaurant owner. So he decides on a whim to just leave. He gets in one altercation, and he's like, well, I guess I have to leave. I have to move.
I like to say that the restaurant owner, he kind of did that on himself because he's the one that freaked out the invention.
Yeah, that's just a whole like mess. But it was kind of annoying that the invention was so nervous about about doing its job. But you know what? I get it. That happens. But I will say the movie had some solid jokes that I forgot about. The first ones that I can think of is when the mom is like, she's trying to tell him not to leave, and she was like, I tell him, and she goes to the husband, and he's trying to talk, and she's like, because you, like, she keeps interrupting him. That was pretty funny. But what made me laugh a lot was they're having this like really sweet moment. I love in movies, and I think I'm built this way, where if there's a really genuine sweet moment, I have to add a joke to it. Like I can't have just a genuine moment. I have to make fun of something. And this movie does that a lot, where like when he's saying goodbye to his parents is a really sweet moment. And they have a shot of a shot of the train, and the conductor is crying, and he says, "All aboard." Like that made me laugh a lot.
I liked how when the mother goes to the station, she finds him, and he's like, "I knew he'd be here," and he's like, "He left us a note. I'll be leaving. I'll be at the train station."
That was
it's
really
a mother's
funny.
instinct.
Just little jokes like that is really funny. I like that. I like when they have like little jokes sprinkled in. And a lot of animated movies do that.
I feel like it's a lot for the parents. Like kids aren't gonna get that.
Yeah, that's true. They just like, I mean, I don't want to be like kids are dumb, but they kind of like, they just like the shiny, they just like all the colors and the funny stuff that some of the characters do, like what's it called, like slapstick comedy, where it's like visually really funny, but the little jokes
Fender's
like
character.
that. Yeah. But the little jokes like that are meant for us grown-ups. All right, so we get to Robot Town. Was that what it was called?
It's
Robot
City.
Robot City. And we meet Robin Williams' character, and I forgot he was in this movie. Fun fact about him. So this was his first voice acting role. This is his first movie. This was his first
movie.
voice acting role since Aladdin and the King of Thieves in 1996.
He kills it in this movie.
Yeah,
I know,
he
he's
does.
so good. And another fun fact. So after he gets to Rodney is at the train station. He's like asking people where to go, which like people are busy. Leave him alone. He walks up to a street performer, and if you look in the background, and I read this before this scene, so I found it. So if you look in the background, you see a robotic version of Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, which is a movie by the same production company.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it looks weird, but I was like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna look like him, but not really. But it's exactly him if he was a robot, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, it's pretty cool.
Like I said, he keeps going. He's like trying to find where Big Weld's building is, and it drives me insane that he doesn't look that up before he goes. How are you like, okay, I'm gonna go to Dallas, and then once you get there, where's the stadium? How do I get there? Like, well, you know what? Like, how do you not know where the fuck that is?
Maybe
Especially
he can't afford it. He couldn't afford new parts. He had to get hand-me-downs. He couldn't afford to look it up.
He can't afford to look up an address. Come on, he's a robot. He can invent a way. And after just a weird little ride that I like, which is really cool, but it lasted
very
a while.
Ineffective.
Yeah, I don't get it. Especially the way it ended when it like broke into two. Okay, so who puts it back together? How does it get back? I just had so many logistical questions that bothered me. But that's somebody else's job. All right, so after that ride, he does find Big Weld's building, and the doorman is a complete asshole, which I don't know if y'all placed the voice of that doorman, but it's Paul Giamatti. And after I read that, I noticed it, but I could not have like thought of that.
He made me laugh so hard because
that part was annoying to me.
Because he like didn't let him in, obviously.
Yeah.
But he did it like twice. The second time got me, and I laughed really hard.
Like, the thing that made me laugh about that whole thing was how after he like closed down the second time and he started laughing as he's zooming up to like the main office to go to that scene. He's like, you can hear him laughing. You can hear him start coughing because he's laughing too much.
Oh,
like I do all the time. So after he doesn't get let in, Rodney does find a way. He like flies up into one of the meeting rooms and gets kicked out right away. Shortly after this, this is where we meet Ratchet and the other girl that I forgot her name. Crystal? That's not it.
No, it's like, gosh, it's something.
Well, I just watched it a few minutes ago again, and I already forgot.
Yeah, I don't know her name. But
Cappy.
Kathy?
Cappy. Cappy. Cappy.
All right. So Cappy and Ratchet, that's where we meet them. The other people in the office they don't matter.
Mini Big Welds.
Yeah, they just look like him. After this, though, is when we can tell that Ratchet is an asshole and that he's probably the bad guy. But after this is when we find out that he actually is, and that his mom is the scariest thing I've ever seen. You know what she looks like? She looks like a Bionicle.
Yeah. That's who I would be. I'd be a Bionicle.
Dude, there's one specific movie, like Bionicle movies, that y'all watched all the time.
The one with like the golden mask.
I want to watch it. I need to find that.
I feel like
it would unearth a lot of memories.
It was very nostalgic for me.
You watched it?
I watched one of them.
Where was it? On YouTube?
Yeah, I think so.
I need to find it. Because there was like, because it was like the other month. I found a Barney movie that I hadn't seen in a while, and it was wild. It was so interesting to see that. But yeah.
The mom, do you know who the voice actor is?
Oh, I looked it up, but I don't remember.
I don't know his name. But what's the name? Jim Broadbent. He is in Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Prince. He's the potions teacher, the one that Harry and Dumbledore go after, where he's the chair.
Oh, that's the mom?
Yeah, that's the mom.
That's the mom.
It kind of blew my
What
mind.
the
I'm pretty
hell?
sure. I'm pretty sure that's him.
That's funny. Speaking of the mom, so we learn that they're working together to get rid of Big Weld. And I don't know if we know at this moment, like, exactly what they're doing. I don't think we do, so I won't say it. And we head back to Rodney, who wakes up in a scrapyard after he gets kicked out of, like, with a big magnet. It's like a whole thing. I don't know what happens, but he wakes up in a scrapyard. And he meets Fender again, Robin Williams' character, and he meets a bunch of his friends and his sister, I think. And they're trying... They leave and they're trying to get a part for Fender because he's just like all beat up. I think at this part is his neck is like
He's in
His
out
head
mode.
comes off.
yeah, and they can't find any parts because they don't sell parts anymore. Because that was Ratchet's whole plan, was to only sell upgrades, not to sell parts. And this is problematic because Fender and a lot of people that are in his position can't afford upgrades. They were relying on parts to be able to, live. And I don't even think I mentioned, but we also see these sweeper things. I don't think I have a note about it, but it basically collects all the people like Fender that are, what did you say? Out something?
Out modes. People who are robots that they don't make parts for, pretty much.
And they can't afford upgrades, so they go and collect them. Where they take them?
Scrapyard.
Exactly, but we don't know exactly what yet or why. We learn that. Oh shit, we learn that later. And
then Rodney is like, I could do this, and then he pops out some wrenches from his wrists, grabs them. He's like, I'll fix y'all. Pretty much to everyone in the neighborhood. And this is the jokes that I as a kid, it just went over my head. But he's like, I'll fix everyone. And then it cuts to one of the robot dogs, and he's like shaking. He's like,
oh, I didn't
because
even
he doesn't want to
notice
get
that.
fixed.
I just got that earlier when I was watching it.
Yeah, I like that part a lot. It made me laugh.
One thing I noticed too, I noticed throughout this whole movie, but for whatever reason I put a note in this part, is that it must be so fucking hard to cast an animated movie. I think mostly because I saw Robin Williams and I was like, I can't picture him, like nobody else in that role except for him.
Right.
And it must be so hard to find like a perfect voice, especially because I'd seen this movie a long time ago, but I didn't remember that Rodney was voiced by Ewan McGregor. And I was like, well, when I was a kid, I was like, whatever, I don't know who people are. But now I just that didn't connect to me as being a good casting choice, but it really was. So I don't know. I just think I wonder like what that process is to cast somebody to be a voice for your character and how hard that must be.
Well,
what character would you guys want to voice?
Ooh.
Right.
Sorry, I mean to cut you off, Homer.
It's
what character?
Yeah. Maybe not in this movie, just any animated character, honestly.
Oh, man.
Just out of curiosity.
The fire hydrant.
That's funny.
Ooh, I'd want to be... Do you remember when he calls his dad at the end? And the phone is like, that was a really sweet conversation. You could upgrade for like... I want to do that. I think that'd be funny. What about you, Anthony?
I'd want to be the dad that's strung up.
Oh.
Like, you're doing good, Ratchet.
Good luck with your desperately plans.
that part made me laugh.
What were you
going to say, Homer, before I cut you off?
I was saying that it's interesting how there's some robots that are just like, their life is pain. They're at the beginning with the drum. The drum that's like, oh, every time he gets hit, and then the fire hydrant, he's gonna stay in there for the rest of his life. Can't move.
Oh, man. I like
Life
to
is
imagine
pain.
you when you were a small child watching this movie. You were like, "Man, life is pain."
If we saw it in the theaters, you're just looking at the other kids that are laughing. You're like, you don't even know.
Why are you laughing?
Life is pain. I forgot
That's
about that. The
true.
drum too. Yeah, he's just like, ow.
Or there was
Ow.
one that was a toilet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What kind of
During the
life is
fixing
that?
sequence where it's just plunging him.
Yeah. Oof. Also, who's taking a shit? They're robots. Also, what do they eat?
Well, when so after they get fixed, Rodney fixes everyone. Fender brings them to Fanny's, and we kind of see a toilet. I don't remember his name, but the dude with the wheels, he's like taking a leak, and they're just like watching him. That part was weird.
He's like,
getting an oil change.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the 5th one today. Something's wrong with me. So weird. All right. So after that, like you said, Fender offers up his room for Rodney to stay with him. And the next day, the whole town finds out. Oh, wait. No, you already said that. Oh, but we didn't say what spurred them to like need the whole town to want repairs, though, right? That
Yeah.
they officially
they're only selling upgrades.
Yeah, they officially sold out of all the parts and whatnot. Then good news for the town, bad news for Rodney, because Ratchet's mom finds out and she's pissed. And in the meantime, Rodney finds out that his dad and everybody else needs just a bunch of parts, but especially his dad. His dad he's going through it, like you said. Life is pain.
When he gets that letter, by the way, the mailbox is Al Roker.
Oh yeah,
the one that delivers. And he like reads it, and then they're asking him like, "What's wrong?" Fender immediately steals it from him, and then says, "It's like what the."
God, Fender's so funny.
He's got one foot in the junkyard, and that was funny.
Oh, sorry, I lost my spot. So they decide.
I was just gonna say it, but
yeah,
you found
they decide to go to Big Weld's ball, his gala, whatever you call it, in hopes of seeing him, because at this point they have no idea where he is, and they're like, "We need to find him, because if he knows what was going on, he wouldn't like it." So they go. And a fun fact about this, the part where Rodney and Fender are trying to get into this ball, and they meet again this doorman is what I call him. And they're all dressed up, and there's this really funny part where he's like acting like Rodney is some king or something, or prince, or I don't know, whatever the fuck he is. And a fun fact about this part is that Chris Wedge, who I think is one of the directors, he said in the DVD commentary that Robin Williams performed that scene with Fender and Rodney attempting to get past him, the doorman, 8 times in 8 different accents, including one as a Polish valet.
I like the one that they picked, because
Very
he's like, does the count want to hit me? He's like, you don't even disrespect him like that. I will hit him I'll hit you on his behalf.
On your behalf.
Such a dumb little thing, but that's one of the parts where I think like that kids would like it, but adults would like also understand it and like it too. So good movie all around. All right, so then after this, they find out, they get into the gala, all their hard work, but doesn't matter because Big Weld is not coming, and Ratchet says so to the entire place. I think it's hilarious that he like had a disguise to come in, and they're all like, let's have a little code word if things go south. And as soon as Ratchet's like, Big Weld's not coming, Rodney's like, what? To everybody.
Yeah.
He's like, I made this disguise for nothing. Like, what was the point of just getting all like disguised up, and then you just made me laugh so hard.
I forgot to mention this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like pop culture references in this movie that I didn't realize. Like one of the characters he can only speak through these like little like voice boxes things. And when he puts one in, he talks like Darth Vader.
That's when I think he fixes Fender's neck.
Yeah.
He's like, the force is strong.
But like specifically with going back to the ball, when they're in line, it made me think of Coming to America. And I don't know if that was like an intentional, like maybe that's why they picked it, because it just looked like it, just the way that they were dressed. I don't know.
I didn't even think of that.
I just wanted to bring it up. But
maybe. And that whole thing about that guy having Darth Vader's voice was a fun fact because Ewan McGregor plays Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I think he says the Force is strong with this one to Rodney. So.
Yeah.
For the Star Wars nerds out there, you're welcome. So yeah, he throws a whole fit. And then the girl that works with Ratchet, Cappy is such a dumb name. She decides to help Rodney for whatever reason. She doesn't really say why. She never really says why. I mean, we can kind of understand that she doesn't like Ratchet, but I don't know. She's kind of like a very two-dimensional character. I don't really know anything about her other than that she's like pretty. But yeah. And so she decides to take him to Big Weld because she knows where he is. And I thought they were going to mention, I didn't remember this in the movie. So I was like, is she like his daughter? Or does she just like know where he lives? But they didn't make any connection. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a Surf's Up kind of like relationship where.
Oh, that's her like uncle or something?
Yeah, it's like a similar like concept almost.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Because like the main character, Cody, Rodney, looking for like their childhood hero, Big Z and Big Weld. Big Z, Big Weld. I think this came out.
In this essay, after. I will.
Huh?
This just sounds like an essay. That Surf's Up and Robots are the same movie.
Changed my mind. But I'm reading here
Doesn't that feel weird that they don't like that they're kind of it feels like they're building up to that's her dad, and then nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's just weird.
I didn't really get that impression with that, but Cappy is supposed to be Rodney's love interest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't really get that either, though.
Yeah.
At the end, they're kind of like nose to nose. Spoiler.
I mean, I do get that after the fact, but like, I don't know. She just feels like they had a bunch of scenes with her and they just decided to delete them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean.
I don't understand the point of her.
It doesn't seem developed at all throughout the movie.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would be cool to add some sort of like relationship with Big Weld or something. I mean, maybe it definitely doesn't matter, but I just thought they were building to that, and then to not have that, I was like, that's kind of weird. Anyway, so she takes him to Big Weld, and then we see kind of like with Surf's Up, like Anthony said, it's the same movie. We see that Big Weld is more concerned with like stacking dominoes than he is doing anything else. He's kind of just given up. And a fun fact about these dominoes. So a special rending tool was created specifically to randomly place the pips on every domino in Big Weld's workshop. And I did notice that when they had like, he knocked him over and then it turned out there was like a huge, like so many dominoes that it was kind of like he was surfing in them. And every single domino had their own like numbers. I thought that was crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dedication.
And I was wondering what kind of software they used to make that whole like surfing sequence with him surfing on a giant domino.
They usually have that in the fun facts, but they didn't say, unless I just skipped it, but they didn't say specifically what they made this movie with, but they used a tool for that, I guess. But that makes sense. Why would you want to do that individually? God, I wonder how long that would take.
I want to mention this movie holds up very well, being 15 years old. There's like one scene that I can think of where I was like, that looks but it holds up.
Oh, the animation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. I think the big thing about me not liking certain animated movies is I don't like their animation. Like, for instance, Megamind. The movie was funny. The animation is really creepy. But this one I liked. Except for Ratchet's mom. She is scary. But other than that, it won't give me nightmares like Megamind will. All right, so Rodney finds Big Weld, like we said, and he's a big old disappointment. Surprise, surprise. And a sad thing about being in quarantine is that I saw the dominoes, not the whole like wave thing, but I saw like him stacking them, and I was like, that'd be kind of fun. Like, it made me consider getting dominoes, and I instantly was like, no, it's not. I don't know. And I also have a cat, and he would ruin it instantly. So, like, I don't know, just the fact that I considered it, and I was like, I wonder what I could do. Why would I do that? I'm going to turn into Big Weld. All right, so
give up, okay, kid.
It's kind of a sad moment where it's like Rodney's this entire thing he's built up to, and from what I haven't seen Soul, but from what I've understood, like from what people are saying, it kind of is like that too, right? Like you build up something in your mind so much, and then once you instantly get to experience it, then you're like, okay, well, like either it disappoints you or your feeling that you get disappoints you. Like,
yeah,
Big Weld, and that could have been said for if Big Weld was exactly as he thought he would be. And maybe that just because he would be exactly what you imagine doesn't mean that you'll feel the way that you built up, because your expectations are never going to match the person that you meet.
Yeah.
Don't meet your heroes, kids. All right. So after this, meanwhile, Fender, he was doing some whole like singing instead of singing in the rain, singing in the oil. And I remember that was like a memory that unlocked for me. Just him, like how the way he said oil, the way he sang it was just like, I instantly remembered this entire movie. It was like a flashback kind of thing. Just from that one thing. But he is caught by one of the, what are they called? Sweepers?
Sweeper butts.
Street sweepers. Right? Sweeper butts. And so he gets into the whole, what was it called? A junkyard? The one that Ratchet's mom is running.
Scrapyard.
Scrapyard. What did I say?
Junkyard.
Oh. And he learns the entire plan that they have, that Ratchet's mom is behind everything, that she is the one that doesn't want parts to be available because she basically wants to have all the poor people or poor robots just eliminated. She wants to be able to get rid of all of them. And so hence the upgrades. And if you can't afford an upgrade, you're going to get swept.
And he shows him new sweep tools or sweeping bots.
Yeah.
And this Homer, do you remember having one of those as a toy as a kid?
I remember
one of the like the giant thing that like opens up and it.
I forgot about
the silver ones, the like upgraded ones. Like I was looking, they have the toys; those exist, and for some reason, I just remember having those as a kid.
I remember that.
I don't remember that.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Because I love that toy as a kid.
I totally forgot about the toy.
When I saw those on my little phone screen, I was like, I had a brain blast. Like I just like unlocked a new memory. It's crazy.
I see it.
Is that Jimmy Neutron? Brain blast?
Yeah, that's Jimmy Neutron.
Oh man, that's a movie we need to do.
Yeah.
I love
that would
movie.
be wild.
All right. Oh, well, first of all, like the thing I kept thinking when
Wait,
Ratchet's
before we move
mom.
on.
Oh,
Homer, keep on going. Did you find it?
I found it. It doesn't look that familiar to me.
dang.
I mean, it just
Disrespectful.
looks like it from the movie.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
So you liked stupid toys, Anthony?
It might have just been mine. I don't know.
I do remember that. Unless, I don't know. But, well, this whole time, whenever she was talking about when Ratchet's mom is like, we need to get rid of them, all this stuff, I wanted to be like, girl, do you not own a mirror? Come on. You are not shiny and new. But I guess that's the point. I don't know. Also, her husband, why is he strung up there? Why can't he get down? I don't get that at all.
He didn't agree.
I guess. And then Rodney, of course, is very let down by Big Weld. So we go back to his story. This is when he calls his dad. And I took a quote that actually like hit me kind of hard. And I had to pause the movie and I was like, oh, and you write this down. His dad tells him, because he's like, son, you don't come home. Like, you need to finish this and see it out. And so he tells him, a dream that you don't fight for will haunt you for the rest of your life. Jesus Christ.
It's every time.
Also, the dad is Stanley Tucci. We haven't even mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
He has an amazing voice. And it just hit hard when Stanley said that. Whew.
I mean, he ain't lying.
I mean, he knows, and that's the sad part, is he knows from experience, because he told Rodney that he dreamed of being a musician and he didn't follow through with it. So now he's a dishwasher. I mean, not to say that he didn't love his life. Like, you know, he had a great kid. He loves his wife, but he obviously regrets not chasing his dream.
He's haunted.
So, very haunted. Very dark for a kids movie, but I like it. All right. So Rodney, he wants to quit, but then he instantly changes his mind when he learns about what Ratchet is up to. Because at this point, I think he just thinks that Big Weld is like disappointing, so he just wants to leave. But now that he knows that Ratchet wants to get rid of his friends, no way. And I do like, after this whole speech, they're at the train station and all of his friends ride in that lady's ass. And they come to say and they say like, hey, don't leave. You got to help us out. And then Big Weld also joins. And I will say that so at this point, I knew that he was going to join them. I remembered that, but I thought there was this whole scene of them going back to convince him, but he just joins them. And I really like that, because when I thought that was happening, because usually I feel like any other animated movie would do that. Maybe not, but that's just what I felt. And I was already exhausted. I was like, oh, can we please not do that? So I do like that we don't have that long ass scene of them trying to like convince him to help, all this shit. So this movie is very well contained. Like when I watched it, I think I watched it last night, and I was very surprised when I finished it. I was like, oh, that's it. Like, I thought it was longer. It felt like it was 40 minutes. It felt very short.
A quick hour and a half.
Yeah. I was entertained the whole time. So I will say I liked that. And then they have a big old fight with Ratchet's mom, all her robots, and then they win. I don't really have much to say about this scene, but Anthony, go ahead.
Robots walked, so Avengers Endgame could run. I say that because at the end, when you think all hope is lost, when she's like, I got more robots. It's not on the left, but on the right, lady, I don't remember her name, with the ears or pigtails, I guess. One. Yeah, she like takes off this like door, which is a circle, much like in Endgame with the little wizards dudes.
I hate this
and brings
so much.
The cavalry, who brings everyone.
And you know what? I cried then and I cried now.
So I guess in a way, robots is like Surf's Up and Avengers at the same time. And honestly, what else could you ask for? The world wasn't ready for robots when it came out.
I also think Big Weld was the prototype for BB-8.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of this movie just like was a trailblazer for a lot of other movies.
It was.
I think if you ask J.J. Abrams and who directed Avengers, those two guys,
the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
they
the
would
brothers.
say, you know what? I'll really go
It all
back to
started with
2005.
robots. Everything goes back to robots.
I saw that one scene and I knew where MCU was headed.
Honestly, it wrote itself.
I'm surprised that Avengers didn't end with a musical number.
Oh. I bet
Robin
you it's
Williams.
probably like a...
At Tony Stark's funeral.
I'm singing in the rain. I wonder...
I'm really
It'd be
upset that you made
amazing
that connection.
if... Oh, yeah. I immediately had to make that connection. If Franny was in... Or Fanny. Fanny was in... like in a cameo. Like in the very end of Avengers... If she was like a little, like for one frame, she was in the back.
Can you imagine? You know,
some Chitauri or something.
You know that scene at Tony Stark's funeral where they like, where the camera goes through the crowd and Fender
All the family.
is just
That would be hilarious. Oh, we didn't talk about his second musical number with the Britney Spears, because he gets, when he goes to the scrapyard, he gets like female bottoms, I guess, like female legs with like a skirt. I don't know why that happened.
Well, that's the whole like kid thing where they just want to add something that's like funny for kids. I hated that entire part. But yeah, like I said, they win. They save the day. But before they celebrate, Rodney's like, I gotta do something. And they go back to his house, like his town, whatever the fuck it was called. And he introduces his parents to Big Weld. And they have a whole party. And I'm ashamed to say that whenever his dad met Big Weld, and they had that whole like, you know, his dad was, because this is the first time his dad had seen him since he left. I cried.
No shame.
I was in a
no shame
vulnerable
whatsoever.
state.
No shame.
Yeah, I'm just a mess. But I think, you know what got me too? What made me really mad was when he brought back that whole like the most important robot in the world besides my dad, and I was like, fuck you. Made me cry. But yeah, a couple more things. Big Weld names Rodney as his right-hand man and his ultimate successor, which is a normal thing to do after you met a guy after one night. And so the next part made me cry, not cry, but cry laugh. So Rodney's like, I'm living my dream. Dad, it's your turn. He gives him a horn that he like played, I guess, because he was a musician, if you guys remember from the beginning. And there's this like build up where everybody's like, yeah, do it, because the whole crowd. And he plays the horn, and it's a huge moment. He starts to play, and he sounds like shit.
He sucks.
And I think one of them says, I was hoping for
your happy ending.
Because your happy ending. Oh my God. That made me laugh so hard. But he gets better because he says, I'm rusty. But it was just so funny. It reminded me of the end scene in Megamind when everybody was trying to like say like, you know, they're trying to gather around him and like say, yay, thanks. And he was like, get away. And he like freaked out. Yeah, that just perfect. And then of course it turns into a big musical number and we're all
Get On
happy.
Up by James Brown. Pretty sure this is the first time I was introduced to James Brown. So Robots is honestly a pinnacle of my
Avengers.
childhood.
Pinnacle of pop culture for Anthony.
It is
I love this movie.
turning point in my life. It's the climax.
Everything
It
I
was.
measure before robots and after robots. All right, so I have
Well,
a
thank you
couple
for
of...
picking this movie.
Oh yeah, Anthony was very excited. But before we end on our final thoughts, 2 fun facts. The first one is in the UK, Aunt Fanny had to be renamed to Aunt Fan, because Fanny is a common UK slang word for vagina. Fun fact. All right, last one is, this one is also very funny. This was the first movie to feature the official trailer to Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Also starring Ewan McGregor. When it was reported that Star Wars fans paid tickets to see the movie only to leave when the trailer was over. So
The
those
dedication.
numbers. Thank you, Star Wars fans. All right, I will start because I don't think I have as much a connection to this movie, but it made me cry, so it's obviously I liked it. But yeah, it's solid. I mean, I've seen it a lot because of y'all, but I hadn't seen it in a while, and I don't know why, but every time you pick an animated movie, Anthony, I never look forward to watching it. But then I end up really liking it when I do, so it's the same case here. I really liked it. If I'm going to rank like the animated movies that you've chosen, I don't think it's one of the top ones, but it is pretty good.
I didn't choose it. Homer did.
Oh, well, one of y'all. Well, you said you were going to choose it like a while back.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
Well, I'll go next. I want to save Homer for last. I love this movie. It's pretty obvious. This is my childhood. This is our childhood. I feel like Homer. A lot of funny moments, and the music is great. It fits so well. So, honestly, thanks for picking this movie because I love it.
And I also love this movie. It's just it is a part of our childhood, and I just love the animation and how like every robot that you see is unique. I don't think there's any like copy and paste where there's like another. You've seen this robot before,
except for the upgrades.
Yeah.
Oh, and I almost forgot. Before we talk about the movie for next week, we have a question that we have started to ask every movie, Homer, and it's different for this one, but the question is, what prop would you steal? So let's say this is actually a live action movie, and you can steal a prop from this movie. What would you steal?
A prop that I could steal. I think I'd steal the little robot that Rodney invents.
Oh, the invention.
That's what I was gonna say too. But to spice it up, I would want. Oh gosh,
I'd want the horn that he played at the end.
that's a good one. That one it's like an interesting horn because it has like three horns in one. I would want an upgrade, just like a torso or something. Yeah, I don't know.
You could have ratchets. Wasn't it like taken? Like it was he like lost it or something?
Yeah.
Oh, at the end he got strung up with his dad.
Or one of the larger dominoes from Big Worlds.
Ooh,
that'd be cool just to have. Make it into a table or something.
That'd be cool. I did like, I don't know how comfortable they would be, but I did like the little tire, like hammocks.
Tire.
I liked those.
You can probably cushion it.
There you go. I could use it for Ari. There you go. Well, all right, Anthony. Nope.
Oh, there's that whole sequence we forgot about, the armpit farting.
Oh, I was going to mention that because they like get into a competition.
Thought to mention that.
They got into like a competition, right?
Oh, like who could do the best one, and then Aunt Fanny is like, "Get a load of this."
And then the lamp outside
she
died.
kills the lamp. There's a
Don't make me laugh
chalk
so
mark
hard.
where it was.
He said, "Lady, see a doctor."
Gosh, what a movie! 10 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, IMDb. They don't know what's
You
up.
can go fuck yourselves.
And I was looking at our podcast, as you do. We have a new review on.
Oh, do we?
Yes, it is from the one and only Irma 120,
Oh my god.
our lovely
What did you
mother.
say?
The subject is one of my fave podcast. 3 exclamation points. The witty banter in the Bro Sis show is the best I have ever listened to.
Oh.
Their review of movies are always interesting to hear. I would recommend this podcast to everyone.
Aw.
So thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
We have
Thank you, Mom.
one from a random person, one from me, and then one from Mom. There you go. You can be the next one. So review us, a listener or a Homer. I don't know. Give us
He's
a
like,
review.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, what are we watching next time?
Well, before that, let's plug our Instagram at Brother Sister Show and Twitter at Bro Sis Show.
Do you have anything to plug,
do
Homer?
Uh,
I'm sorry. Go on.
no, what were you gonna say?
Well, I don't know when, but Homer is going to be designing stickers for our mom's small business, Helium Crafts. So
What?
I think
I didn't
it's
know that.
helium_crafts on Instagram. So follow us. We'll have
yes.
a little announcement whenever his stickers are ready, but he's he's making them right now.
I've made a few already. I don't have the physical, but I'm using this little program called Procreate to make them. And I've made a donut. I've made a donut corgi. A donut corgi concha. I don't know how to say it. It's like that little Mexican cookie thing.
Yeah, concha.
I've made a skull and a little baby deer.
There you
Wow.
go. Stuff to look forward to. So at helium_crafts, we'll post it whenever they're ready. He's working away to get all of those done because they have a
That's
sticker
awesome.
maker now. Yeah.
I didn't know you were doing that. That's awesome.
Do you have anything else
'Cause
to
you can
plug,
draw.
Homer?
No, sorry.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our second special. We got back-to-back special episodes.
And last one of 2020. A year to remember.
Any New Year's resolutions, Homer?
No, not really.
Or alternatively, any regrets in 2020?
Oh my God.
I'm just playing. You don't have to answer that.
No.
He's like, well, that I didn't get the vaccine out sooner.
I didn't? Okay.
Or
Yeah.
that I was on this podcast. This is actually my biggest regret.
There you go. That we didn't
No.
watch Robot sooner.
That is my regret. Well, thank you again, Homer. That was a lot of fun. But for next episode, we're gonna watch Soul because I want to revisit that movie. I want it when it's fresh on everyone's minds. That movie deserves to be talked about.
It also feels like, from what I've heard about it, it feels like a good way to start out the year.
Definitely. Have you seen it,
Me?
Livia? Yeah. Okay.
I saw a clip from it that made me question my entire life.
Yeah, it'll definitely make you think, and I'm excited to talk about it. That's all I got.
All right. See you next time.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus.
Nope.
Sorry.
Soul on
It's
Disney,
on Disney
Plus.
Next episode. Thank you again, Homer.
Bye.
And Robots is on HBO Max.
All right. For the third time. Goodbye.